And right now, I just see Melissa. The other cameras are all turned off.
Yeah, mine.
What? What's going on, guys? You said you were
I'm
all going to
leaving.
have a shower.
See you later. You're on your own.
See, I turn it on, but as soon as I go back to my other screen, it turns off.
Okay.
There. Am I there? No. It says it's on.
I see you. Yeah, I can see you. You're at the top.
Okay.
Kristen, I thought you were frozen because you're just smiling away. That's what we have to do when he takes the screenshot at the end.
Yes.
Where's Brian?
There he is.
Okay.
Hey, Jeff, I miss you.
So hilarious. I wasn't paying attention and I copied the seesaw one. So I was in a Zoom waiting and I was talking to all these other people that thought, oh, they're joining our session today. But meanwhile, they're just getting ready to present their own session and I was in the wrong one.
Oh.
Oops. Well, thank goodness it's Friday.
I'm sleeping in tomorrow.
I'm gonna have to play with my kids tomorrow.
I'm going to have to see if I can get my kid out of bed before noon tomorrow.
All right, here we go.
Hey, Jeff, what are you eating?
We'll get started. So, hi everyone. Our question today is, what's the first thing you plan to do once we get out of this social isolation? So a lot of people had some answers. So thanks for joining in. Thanks if you're returning. We're happy to have you again. If you're new, welcome. The bit.lys are on the bottom from each day, day 1, day 2, and today. So feel free to log on to those if you like. So here we are, frequent Google Suites use part C. Woohoo! We made it to C. I just want to thank my team before the end. They've worked so hard to get this to you. So thanks again. So here we have the traditional territorial acknowledgement. Melissa?
We'd like to acknowledge that the land upon which we are gathered is part of the traditional territory of the Chippewa, Odawa, Potawatomi, and Delaware nations. And today I'm going to go outside.
You're going to go outside. Sweet. So we have the 6 remote learning guidelines: asynchronous learning, pace, prioritize, available, intentional, and familiar. That was before this slide. So here we are your hosts. I'm Teresa Lopatron. I'm the English language learner support teacher for the board. I work in the North. Brian Jubinbell is our assistive technology support teacher. Melissa Dent, she works at Rosedale this year. And Kristen Sutton, she works at Banquet. So this week, we've covered Google Forms and we talked about Google Slides. We did a bit of accessibility in the writing tools and in the reading tools. Today, we are going to touch on Google Meets and Calendar, some other assistive tech tools, and answer some questions that you might have. We're going to do some live questions as well. So asynchronous learning, it's not our traditional, as we all know. It's flexible. It's at your own pace, your own time, your rules. You set up your classroom how you like. Your pace, create experiences for students to work at their own pace. Again, we've talked about this. It can take, and you know, you're experiencing it right now. Things take longer. So make sure you think of that when you are creating your workload. Prioritize, less is more. Identify the learning that is most needed within your class. You know your class, you do what you need to do. Available, set up some office hours. Block out time each day to be online. And we're gonna talk about this today. We're via Google Meets. You can email, you can use your phone. The board has sent out a link how to block your number if need be. And intentional, which resources and activities will boost learning? What still needs to be addressed this school year? And use your overall expectations. Familiar. Begin with the tools you are currently using in Google Suites. Kids will learn. They are quick learners. So use them slowly. Introduce them slowly. And here are your 6. So Seesaw, they're in their last of the series of 3 today. And these are all pre-recorded, as you know. You can go back and check it out if you like. Same with us in Google Suites, our support. If you want to check anything out, please feel free. So today, we will do our best to address your questions. We're going to take live questions as well as answer them in the chat. Shout out to Jeff Brosh and Paul Gilbert and Matt Sanders. Thank you for your expertise in answering the questions in our chat. It has been very helpful because up to this point, we've answered most questions. So it makes it pretty easy to go forward today. And here we got Brian.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
You actually want to stop sharing for just a moment, then I will take over.
Let me just, oh, sorry, everybody.
It's okay. Hello, everyone. Today we're going to go over a couple of things from last day that I missed, and then I've got some new stuff, some other tools that I think will be helpful. I feel like it's Friday. I'm going to take it easy on you. I got a few videos to share that I think might be helpful for you to consider as you're planning your remote learning, and I hope it's helpful. So here we go. Let me share my screen here. I'm going to go to click here and here, as Rod has suggested, and double click. Okay, are we good now? Do you see my screen?
Yeah. Great.
Okay, so today I hope to start with, we talked about Google Classroom last day, but I do know that there was some sort of update in Google Classroom in the past where when students were annotating, highlighting, adding text to their PDF reader documents, teachers were trying to view that and they weren't able to. And then I think there was some sort of fix made, and I'm going to show you what that fix is so that you could see those annotations. But as I've checked this out in the last day or so, I'm wondering if there's been another update because it seems to be working as it was previously. So I just want to show you both ways so that you can be confident that if you ask your students to make up markings in PDF Reader, highlight, answer anything, then you'll be able to see those markings. I'm going to show you Data Desk, where you can control the tools that you, for each individual student or your whole class of students. And you can also view some analytics where you can see how often or what tools are being used by the students. So if you're investing that time with either the whole group or a small group, you can see if they're actually taking advantage of that explicit instruction that you're giving to them and using the tools as they should be. I mentioned yesterday that we talk about guided access on an iPad, and I hoped to have, as a team, we have some ideas for how you can keep kids in a certain app or application on the Chromebook as well, but this is something that we're going to need some time with to vet with our IT folks before we can share. So it'll just be the guided access shown today. Clicker Writer, I did mention yesterday that, and I got to explain everything, and Explicit Practice here. All 3 of these are just geared towards kind of easing the mind if you're looking to help those unique learners that struggle with their reading and writing and getting their ideas out. There's a lot of free tools out there right now, so I'll take a few minutes and just highlight what those tools are so that you can be aware. And last but not least, we're going to show our new Google site that we've started to create and we've launched today with a few pages to get started, and we'll keep adding to it as we go. googlesites.com/lkdsb.com/assistive technology. And this is where we hope to support remote learning with assistive technology and support AT inclusive teaching and learning beyond the remote learning experiences. And then we'll talk about any questions that you've had over the 3 days or from this session, okay? So the first thing I mentioned was, if you have had your student complete some work in Google Classroom and you've shared a PDF, then I have one student here. I've created this classroom just for this session. Paul Gilbert is my student. So if this is my assignment and I go to check his annotations, I can see that his work, and if I had lots of students, obviously their whole work would be here, but I only see Paul's because he's my only student. And if I double click, then I just want you to be confident that if in the past you were not able to see those annotations and that was frustrating for both you and your students, then that issue has been resolved. I can see the annotations that I shared with Paul, and if I go down here, I can see his responses to the questions. All the annotations are saved from the student, and I can see them just by clicking where the students have turned in. Now, I just want to go back for a moment. The fix for this, and I'm just going to, if you notice right beside in the middle of the screen there it says turned in, and there's a folder there, right below where it says 0 assigned, that folder. If I click on that, it brings you to a drive, a Google Drive version of all of these. And in the past, if the markings were not showing up, then you would have to click on that folder in order to see those markings. That was the only extra step that was required during that period where it wasn't just a simple double click on the file and see it. So keep in mind that Read and Write is putting a layer on top of the PDF, and that if you want to view that, you also need to open up that folder, that file in Read and Write as well. Okay, so that's number one. Oh, what I was going to note there is I had Paul do a response for me, and I purposely asked him to leave an error in the spelling. And what I plan to do with this blank document here is have him copy and paste it over so that he would be able to see that there's some red and blue underlines, and that if we used our check it tool as we talked about on day one, that his response could have been improved with a fixed spelling mistake, a fixed grammar mistake, and a comma added if he had used the check it tool and the built-in read and write tools with the blue underline and the red underline. So I clicked too fast there and deleted it, so I wasn't able to copy and paste it over. But just a reminder that even though PDF Reader is wonderful, you can mark it up and you can fill in answers and use text boxes, the full supports for type, tools, check it, listen are going to be found in Google Docs, and it can always be copied and pasted back into PDF Reader. Okay. I'd like to introduce probably most of you to Data Desk, and this is where we're going to get to be able to choose how to control our settings of the toolbar with our students. And I'm going to play a little video because I think they do a great job on showing you how it works. So I'm going to do full screen and play.
TextHelp's newest tool that allows teachers using Google Classroom to manage the features available to students in Read and Write for Google Chrome. To use, navigate to datadesk.texthelp.com. Then click to log in with your Google account. The first time you use Datadesk, you'll be prompted to accept Google Classroom permissions. This allows Datadesk to view your list of classes and students. You'll need this in order to be able to choose which student or students you'd like to add or remove features for. Once logged in, simply click the Classes drop-down to see a list of your classes. Choosing a class will present a drop-down with all students in the class. Continue by selecting all students or individual students who require modified features. This will automatically display a list of features that can be turned on or off. Note that all features will be checked regardless of the student's current configuration. Click to turn off as many features as you'd like. In this example, I'll turn off Check It, TextHelp's new spelling, grammar, and homophone checking tool, word prediction, and the dictionary. Then click the Set button. This will display a new window that allows you to set the amount of time you'd like the new feature set to be applied. This is helpful if you just want to turn off a few features for a test or quiz scenario, for example, then have the default set to reappear after a certain time. Otherwise, you can choose until you set a new configuration, and the changes will stay until you go back in to change it. Clicking Save will apply the new feature set to the read and write toolbars for the selected users. You can view the student screen to confirm this. In many cases, this will be instant, but if you're not seeing the change on the student end, just refresh the page. And that's it. To modify features at any time, just go back to datadesk.texthelp.com and repeat the process.
Okay. So here I'm showing the data desk. So I've gone to that datadesk.texthelp.com, and of course you're asked to sign in. And so this is the part here where it says features, where you make those changes. But beside the word features up here, you see it says teacher analytics. And this is where I can click, and as it explained, it links to any student that you have in a Google Classroom. So right now I'm using my Zoom demo class. Paul's my only student. If I click Paul, then I can look at the last few days. Click Get Data in the top right corner. Give it a second to load, I guess. And there it shows over the last however many days, how often was it used, and it's telling you exactly which tools the student's been using. Yeah, so some information there, I guess that's just helpful to let you know if the time you're investing into explicitly showing the students how to use their assistive technology tools, how fruitful are those labors. Okay. All right, next I have a good little video on guided access. And even if you're familiar with guided access, in order to limit a student's ability to go from app to app in an iPad, there's actually a neat little tip at the end that I think that I didn't know about until I watched the video, so maybe it'll be new for all of you as well.
Tap on set passcode and set the
Here we go.
The guided access feature of the iPad allows you to temporarily restrict your iPad device to a particular app. This is a nice classroom management feature if you have an iPad that you want to limit to a certain application. Guided access must be set up ahead of time on each iPad individually, so it is not a tool you can quickly use to lock down app access for an entire classroom of iPads. To set up guided access, go to Settings, General, Accessibility, and tap on Guided Access. Turn Guided Access on. Tap on Set Passcode and set the passcode that will be used when guided access is enabled. If you want, tap on Enable Screen Sleep. This will dim the screen after a period of inactivity. Now you're ready to use guided access. Open the app you want students to use. Triple click on the Home button. At the bottom of the screen, you will see 3 buttons. It's recommended to leave these settings as they are unless you wish to disable certain features. To begin, tap the Start button in the upper right. A student or other user cannot disable guided access without your passcode. When a user presses the Home button to go to a different app, he or she will receive a message that they must triple click the Home button to disable guided access. When the user triple clicks the Home button, he or she will be required to enter the passcode, which is only known by the teacher and must be entered correctly to exit the app. You can even restrict a student to a specific website in Safari and disable their ability to browse to a different website. To do this, before you tap the Start button to enable guided access, draw a box around the upper portion of the browser, including all navigation tools and the search and address bar. This will disable the browsing area after you tap the Start button. Using guided access requires touching each device prior to student use, but it can provide a nice layer of management for devices you want focused on a single purpose.
So I just thought, as parents are our partners, and maybe just something, just knowing your students, that something you may want to share with the families, that they can guide the access for the learning with their students. Okay, here I'm actually showing our new site that we launched today. where our intention is to enhance understandings of assistive technology, inclusive teaching and learning. Our team's been working hard in the background to get it going. And I want to draw your attention to a few things. In the past, you may be aware that we have had an assistive technology teacher toolkit. And over the years, we've been adding lots of content, how-to documents, workflow documents. Just as we work with teachers and students, we try to create resources that help support what you're asking of how we can help you. So there's lots of great resources in there. Knowing that this might be a time that you're really looking for some support with the AT, with the remote learning, we've started to vet that resource, and we've created a new folder, and we're calling it the AT Toolkit for Learning at Home. And if you just click on the toolbox icon here, it'll take you there, and you can be assured that these resources have been updated and they're been vetted, that they're there for your help. So you'll see just below that we're calling your attention to the fact that many of our record apps, so if you remember from day one, these apps are primarily for students that do not have very strong phonological awareness, so they're not able to sound out words and use the spell tool. They also often don't speak very clearly or have a good speaker articulation. Therefore, the speak tool doesn't pick up their voices. These are examples of apps. Explain Everything, Claro PDF, both of them are available for iPad. Explain Everything is also available on any device, so it's available for Chromebooks. It's also available for Windows machines, because you can use it within a web browser. So these tools basically will allow a student to record their voice, and they're all free right now. Now, I will let you know that there is kind of a 24-hour period that if you want to get access for your students, I think Explain Everything allows you to sign up for up to 20, actually an almost unlimited amount, a minimum of 10, but you can get it for any number of students that you want. They'll set up an account for you. Claro PDF is just a free download on the App Store currently. And Clicker Sentence is for our very emerging writers. There's lots of supports available in there. And in case you're not familiar with Clicker Writer, it's actually the brand new release that combines the best of Clicker Sentences, Clicker Connect, and Clicker Docs all into one document. And I'd like to show you a quick video of that resource, just so you have an idea of what it offers, in case you're thinking about certain students that you're thinking, if they're on that end of the computer and I'm on this end and I can't sit with them and speak with them very well, how can I still get them writing, get their ideas out? So here's a quick video that'll show what they put together for Clicker Writer.
Clicker provides the right level of writing support for all your learners. Beginning writers build sentences with whole words. Each finished sentence is automatically read aloud, so they review what they've written.
Mary and Billy rode their bikes.
And if there's a word they can't read, they listen to it first.
Flew.
Now they're ready to start choosing the words they want to use. Students progress to writing with the keyboard, with support from the talking predictor and word banks for topic vocabulary. Create your own set of clicker grids in just a few seconds, or use one of the hundreds of ready-made ones from our curriculum team. There's something for almost every topic at every level. To motivate your students and transform writing in your classroom, start using Clicker now. Find out more at cricksoft.com.
Okay, and I had hoped to show a little bit of Explain Everything and Claro PDF, but I'm having trouble with my iPad communicating with my my laptop today, so that might be something to work towards for a different session. So I apologize for that. Last but not least, I just want to spend a few minutes talking about explicit practice. You'll recall last day that I had suggested, or sorry, on the first day of the sessions, for those that have been here all 3 days, I was showing how teachers can create their own explicit practice for their students, where they can have a little icon like this question mark here, clicked, hit play, and it says a word, and students can practice creating words and using the writing tools. I wanted to mention that this sort of thing, this explicit practice, is something that we do with most of our AT trials. And a lot of students that already have done training with us in this past year have had this practice. But if you have a student that's been on trial didn't go on trial this year, but in previous years, and you feel like this explicit practice would be helpful for 1 or 2 students, I just want you to be aware that the AT team has a whole host of these type of files where it dictates words, or if I show you down here where they can be dictated a sentence that they can't see, and then they have to use their tools to recreate it. Again, taking that element of the idea generation out and just focusing on getting confident and familiar with the tools. If you just have 1 or 2 students, we have a host of classes, as you can see here, of practice that we can enter your students in that won't require you to prep it. If you intend to use it for a large group of students, then that's something you got to create yourself using that alt text feature. If you've got a couple students and you just want to get them going, practicing sounding out words or sentences, you see here, EJ sentences, early junior sentences, then I just want you to know, contact us. We can help put students into a classroom and get them going. The other thing is, the reason you see so many of them here, CVC words, back to consonant, vowel, consonant, building up to CVC words, adding an extra vowel and an extra consonant. Level A words, that's just progressively adding more difficulty, adding blends into the mix, adding digraphs, the ch, sh. So we've put a lot of thought into how to help students build their phonemic awareness. And if you have a student that you feel is only using the speak tool or a record tool, but you feel that this would be a great time, this remote learning time would be a great opportunity for that student to start building that phonemic awareness, starting back at CVC words and moving up. Again, please contact us. And what we can do is add these students to these classrooms and just slowly build them up. Now, students that are already doing Lexia, they'll be getting this practice already. But we know that Lexia isn't for all students, and then we have many of our students that are not able to sound out words well or hear the sounds in words when they're trying to spell. So as an AT team, we just wanted to make you aware that we have created a lot of explicit practice activities that allow students to practice this. And if you've got a couple of students in your class that you'd like to see participate in this and be added to these classrooms, just let us know. We can meet with you one-on-one, show you a little bit more about it, or just add students to the class if you're already familiar with it. Okay, from there, I think I just want to bring you back to our AT Assistive Technology page. Like I said, we're working hard. We've got lots of ideas from these sessions in the comments, and we're putting lots of thought to what this learning at home experience might look like and how we can support. So please check into it in the next little while, and hopefully we can just keep adding some videos and different resources. For example, yesterday we talked about how to create an accessible text, and we've already updated that and added some of the videos that I talked about yesterday. So that, for example, could be something that's making you a bit nervous, is creating accessible text for your students, and the supports are here. Videos, full document work with screenshot workflows that take you step by step, things like that. It's what you're gonna find at this website. So anyway, that's it for me today. Thank you for joining the sessions the last few days. And I will take a couple minutes and be open to questions. I don't know, I they've all been answered. I haven't been following the chat, but if there's, Kristen, if you've got anything that you have been keeping track of, or Paul or Jeff, if there's anything that...
Jeff is on confirming some responses to some of our questions, but I think if anyone has any questions for Brian right now that would like to express them, take a moment to do so.
Yeah, I can sure post the link. Thank you, Lisa. Oh, Matt says there's a French version of Clicker. Thanks, Matt.
That was one of the questions below, so they were looking into confirming whether it is or not.
I didn't hear Kristen. Did anyone else?
No, that's a really scary microphone sound. It's Kristen.
Okay, well, I don't see too much in the chat, so I don't want to delay much longer here. So if there's questions at the end for myself or the AT team, let me know, please. Otherwise, we can move on, and you can always ask at the end as well. So go ahead, Melissa.
Good doke. Can you hear me?
Yep, go ahead.
And you can see my screen?
Yes, we can. We see the slideshow.
Thank you. I like it when I have some feedback. It's very hard to present to a completely silent room. So today we're going to do a little deep dive into Google Meets and Calendar. And I'm making the assumption that most of you have already played around a little bit with Google Meets, or else you have gone and listened to one of the other sessions. So I'm just going to give you a couple of points from there. I want to bring you back to Teach from Home, which is the temporary hub from Google. They are constantly doing updates. They're doing amazing things for us behind the scenes, and they're updating this website as that happens. Here's your big tip for the day, because I used it last night a ton. If you hit Shift Command C, I know that you probably know Command C is copy and Command V is paste, but if you hit the Shift button, it will also format your text into the text that you're currently working in, so you don't have to go back and make sure you're in the same font. Massively useful. And the other thing that I would like to remind you is to tell your students that Xbox and PS4 both have access to Google Classroom if they say they don't have enough devices in their homes and they do have those things, they might be able to do some work that way. All right, so here's a recent update from Google Meet. You now have to approve the request to join during the video meeting. Only the meeting creator can see and approve requests to join the meeting if it's from outside of the school's domain. So if the kids can get in right away from the classroom in their LKDSB account, but if they have to get in from outside, you have to approve it. And if you create a meeting and you want to include a guest with the email address that's outside, make sure you stay on the call until they have all been approved. That happened yesterday during one of the staff meetings. This is coming. Within the next week, possibly 2 at the very latest, you're going to be able to manage your participants, and only you will be able to mute and remove the participants. At the moment, I still haven't found a mute all button. I'm asking them if they'll add that one in, but you have to mute the kids individually, and once you've done that, they have to unmute themselves. This one, so I don't know if you've been playing around with it, but I love the nickname feature. So if you go into your waffle and you open Google Meet and you put in a nickname, you can literally put anything in at all. And if somebody has that, they can join you right away. For me, it's a lot faster than copying the code or going back and forth to my email. However, sometimes, like you can be in one called test, for example, and you'll get teachers from all over the place joining in because they're all hitting test at the same time. So if the students cannot rejoin the meeting, if you leave it. And exciting news. Thank you very, very much to the IT guys in LKDSB, because they have enabled our record button on Google Meet, which I think is completely phenomenal. I highly recommend that you record your Google Meets for your own safety, but also so that you can go back and you can look at those. So it's awesome. I'm going to escape out of here and show you what that looks like, because it's amazing. So you go into here. I'm going to click my Google Meet. I'm going to start a meeting. I'm going to call it Joy. So you could literally join this meeting right now if you wanted to. I don't know if we're going to get a lot of feedback if we do that, but I've been able to be. So here's a funny story. You know how they say that if you talk to yourself, if you answer yourself, you're in trouble? So last night I was playing around and I was in multiple video chats with myself. So I don't know what that means. So I can join this meeting. And once I've gone into that meeting, I can copy my joining code, etc. I am now able to go down into this 3 dots down in the corner in the lower left or right hand side, and I can hit record meeting. And if I record the meeting, so here I am, you have to ask for consent. So make sure you're very clear with everybody that you'll be recording the meetings. Oh, thanks, Teresa. Okay, so now I'm recording the meeting. I'm going to hit accept. So Teresa's now in the meeting with me. I can go in and I can see that she is in the meeting. Oh, well, I thought she was, maybe. All right, there she is. Okay, thanks. And I can see that she is muted. All right, now let me turn this off. I'm going to get out of this meeting. And I'm going to go back to presentation. It's going to show up right into my Google Drive, which you're going to see how messy my drive is, so I apologize. It's been needing a good clean for a while. If you have a drive that looks like mine, feel free to just type in the word meet and it'll pull it up for you. And it's going to pull up the folder called Google Meet, and that's where all your information is. All right, I have more exciting news for you. So let me present this. Oh, I showed you that. So here's one thing that you can do with your students. On the Google slide presentations that you might make for your classroom, you can put this on the slide. We're gonna do this. Here's our agenda. This is what we're going over. You can have the kids join you for a live chat link. And once that's ended, maybe the kids slept in that day, they can go back and they can watch the recorded session. All this is linkable in the Google slide. And then you can link a Google form so that they can either, you can do a little bit of, where are you stuck, or what did you get out of it, or do a reflection. Here's a few important tips that you might want to know. If you share the URL, it actually shares an open meeting room to anybody. If you share a nickname, it shares a code for the students to enter only once you're in the room. Turn off or have the students turn off the camera to preserve bandwidth. They may be having an issue, like many of us are, with using up lots of bandwidth. I mean, I know we want to see our students' faces and everything, but if it's having difficulty streaming, you can have them turn off the camera. Mute and turn off the camera while you're waiting for the students to join. Oh, and also you might want to change your letter to a profile picture, and I'll put a link in here later explaining how to do that so they don't just see the flashing letter. Etiquette. Here is some Google Meet etiquette. And you can get a copy of this here if you wanted to post it in your classroom, or you wanted to print it out and put it beside your desk. I don't know. So just a few things that you might want to say. Here are some teaching tips for live sessions. And you'll see, like, I didn't create this one. I took it directly from John Swash here. So this is great. I sent this to my administrator just to help out a little bit. Planning the sponge activity so you don't have that empty silence, making sure that everybody is muted. What was that? And stop recording and end with questions. So end your lessons at the very end with the questions, and then post that recording right away. Here are some student tips for Google Meet on a laptop, and you can get a copy of this here. I made this just in case you wanted to send it out to your kids who are less familiar with Google Meet. So it talks about how to mute, how to leave, how to turn off the webcam, things like that. And then maybe they're on an iPad or a phone. They can also do that here, right? So here's a few things to help them with their iPad and phone and how to share their screen, etc. This is awesome. I'm so excited about this. So Clay, we're friends on Twitter, so that makes us real friends, right? Just invented this Chrome browser for us, which will take attendance for you in Meet. So you have to install the browser. You can click on this link here to install it, and you have to enable it. This is important because if you don't enable it, it's not going to work. So you just have to enable it once, and then after the meeting is over, I tried it out this morning. You can go back, and it will tell you who was actually there. So you can take attendance, because maybe you're too busy presenting or doing the lesson to remember who was there and who wasn't there. And all of that is, again, stored in your Google Drive. Grid View, a lot of people have been using this one in case you didn't know where to get it from. This just does the Brady Bunch thing so that you can see everybody. And Nod Reactions allows you to do a quick emoji reaction for the muted team members, because you're asking all your students to mute, and then they have to interrupt you to tell you something. They can do the thumbs up, or I have a question, or whatever. So you can get really quick feedback from the students using the emojis. So these are 3 excellent Chrome extensions to be using when you're doing Google Meet. Closed captioning, just want to make sure that you know that it is there and is very useful for a lot of reasons, but I really like closed captioning. In the bottom right, in case you didn't know where the present now was. Oh, did you know that you can Kahoot during a Google Meet? Now, it does require multiple devices, but many students have that. So what a great way to reconnect with your students. Or you can build Kahoots, because the Kahoot premium platform is now completely free, although you can still boot Kahoot without premium. So you can do Kahoots with the students. It's fun. All right, so adding a Meet to your classroom. You can open your calendar, create a new event. Is this one that you would prefer I demo? I want feedback here. Yes, no, maybe?
I think so.
Okay, so let me get out of here and demo it. So if I go to my calendar, how am I doing for time? I feel like I'm going super fast. I can't even spell.
5 minutes.
Oh my God. All right, so if I go to my calendar, I'm going to hit create. I'm going to, let's just call it hello, right? And then I'm going to go to my more options. And I'm going to go down here and add conferencing. Once I've done that, I can copy this code. I highly, highly recommend you do that. And do you know you can use the same code all the time if you want. If you want to keep the code consistent for the students, you can use that same code. So I'm going to copy this code. Wait, sorry, this code. Right there. Control copy. I am going to add a guest. Now I can add all of these guests, but I can just add my entire classroom. So I made one this morning. Poor Teresa's been receiving all these emails while I was playing with it, called G3 class. And I can send this out to all of those guests. So let me hit save. Actually, let me make a real time for you. There we go. Let me hit save. It gives me the option. Yep, I'm totally going to send out emails. And you can see that that shows up for me in the calendar. But here's another little tip. You're going to go to your classroom. Here's my G3 class. And I'm going to create a question. Hello, meeting. Come to my live meeting where we're going to discuss, fractions, or we're going to discuss your language homework or whatever. Put that in and then put the meeting code directly into here. You probably don't want to mark this. You definitely want to make it due the day of the meeting. Okay, you can assign a topic to whatever it is. And then you're going to ask that, and then it's going to show up not only in your Google Calendar and in their Gmail, but it's going to show up in the classroom calendar. So as long as they have that calendar enabled down here, then it's going to show up. So you can see it showed up twice for me. It's in my personal calendar, but it's also in my classroom calendar. And that's just a little extra tip for the kids. Okay, I'm running out of time, aren't I? I have so much to talk about. All right, that one. Oh yeah, talked about that one already. Oh, so the Google Calendar appointment slots, massively, massively useful. You can go into your Google Calendar. You're going to create an event again. Office hours. And then you can go down to your advanced option. And you're going to make sure that you have your conferencing added, right? I'm going to take this. There we go, and copy. I'm going to, wait. I screwed that up, ignore that. Create, I want the appointment slots first. But you see how I saved that other one? There we go, office hours. I'm going to do my appointment slots. So I'm gonna meet tomorrow or Sunday, because I'm insane, for 30 minutes at a time for 2 hours. I can put that in there, and you'll see on the calendar, it's going to show up with a grid. And when the students go to that, they're going to see this. So that you can go in and they can click on and they can reserve a spot. In my description, I will have added this so that they'll be able to get to the meet, and they can reserve that. So I've just booked an appointment with myself, and I will now receive an email saying that I have that, and that I can go in and know who I'm meeting with when. So it's a great way to do that. Yeah, I just got my email inviting myself to my own meeting. I told you I have to stop video conferencing myself. All right, this is all laid out for you in words. This is how you create an event in Gmail, in case you didn't know. You can do it directly from here. Setting a meet. This is your calendar cheat sheet directly from Google. If you click on it, it'll take you back to that page, and you can print it out for use if you want it. I wanted to show you this amazing site, which has nothing to do with what we're currently discussing, but it's got amazing stuff for you, because I got to push that arts and creativity and how important it is in this time. Okay, I'm out of time.
Melissa, can I jump in on that? It's Ben here. Thank you. Your passion jumps across the internets to us. So the other part is that just because it says we have a focus on certain areas doesn't mean that that's exclusive. So the arts are really important to be incorporating as well, and doing those in a digital way and sharing our arts and our way that we're expressing ourselves is a wonderful thing, Melissa. So thank you to you and to Brian and Teresa and Kristen and everybody who presented, but also thank you to everybody who jumped in and continue to come by and learn together. It really has been something else this week as we're wrapping up kind of a week of kind of like a cram session, I think, on remote learning. So thanks, I really appreciate it.
Is there any burning questions I should answer before I turn it back over to Teresa? Please keep in mind, if you think of something later, email me. If there's something that you want that you haven't been able to get access to, email me. I've also been dumping all these presentations in the 21st Century Drive for those of you who want to go in there and get it from there to download or whatever.
Melissa, can you stop sharing for a moment, please?
I absolutely can.
Thank you.
No, Teresa, do you want to take back over? Hi, team.
Melissa, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, there was a question about, do you have to pin yourself from recording so that students don't come into view? Should they unmute themselves and speak?
What do you mean? I'm sorry, repeat that.
Your question.
You mean because you don't want to record student faces? Was that the question?
Allison, do you want to pose the question what you mean to Melissa?
Hi, yes, sorry. It wasn't so much the concern because I know they can block video, but just so that it's not interfering with your delivery if kids go to rewatch it later. Would pinning yourself keep them from coming into view so it's not constantly flipping back and forth?
Oh, I see what you're saying. If you're doing the grid view, yes,
Yeah,
it
will that
should.
stop that?
Yep,
Okay.
it should.
Thank you.
That's it? Teresa?
Brian, you have a question. I was trying to access Claro PDF from my iPad and it's showing up that it's 13.99. Is there a trick to get things hit for free on my iPad? Thanks.
Okay. I will check that out. I was on the website and they listed that it was free. I'm not sure what steps. Some of the websites are requiring an extra step. Like, I don't know if maybe you need to verify with your LKDSB.com that you're an educator or something like that. So I'm not sure I can answer that right now because I already had Claro free. But I can quickly take a look on the Claro website to what I saw and see if that's helpful.
Yeah, Claro PDF is free. Claro PDF Pro is 13. So it's do you see that?
The Pro version is, the website did say the Pro version is available for free while schools are closed. So yeah, I'm not sure I'll be able to solve that this second, but I just encourage whoever asked the question to persist with that. It might require, I'm not sure, I would assume it would have been free in the App Store, but there might be some other way to activate it. So I will look into that. So thank you for that comment.
Okay, so do you want me to take over and finish the slides? Any other questions? All right. Let's see. Sorry, it's going to take me forever. Sorry, everybody. I don't have I just want to show you the last few slides here. I have things to share.
Oh, yes, feedback. Please do feedback. I didn't get a chance to talk about Google Keep or Jamboard or any of those things.
So Parents as Partners, there's a parent's guide. You've probably seen it floating around Facebook or on it's on YouTube. It's a great little guide for parents you can send to them. And then how to keep in touch with our parents. There's a website there that you can look at and it gives you some information. Oh, and here is the feedback. If you want to learn something new, maybe these might continue. If there's something you're interested in, Jamboard is very cool. I've been playing with it. So if there's anything you're interested in, please let us know or anything you're thinking. And tech support. I'm not sure if I heard right, and Matt, you could probably answer this for us. If the Zoom meetings are going to continue, they're very helpful. You just log on and they can help with questions, as well as our AT team with their website and reaching out to them.
Yeah, we'll be on Monday and Tuesday of next week for sure. And there was some discussion. I'm not sure what our next steps are, but whether there was some discussion about doing some student tech support as well for those that might need it. So, but for sure for Monday and Tuesday, we've got some sessions running from 10 to 11 to support anyone that needs any help with their tech.
Perfect. So from 10 to 11, That's amazing. Here is the elementary educator remote learning. All of the sessions have been recorded and they've been placed on here. So if you click here, it will set you there. Here are some Jamboards on here. I just put a little tutorial on there. We already talked about Google Meets, and if you missed it, there's some calendar, how to make appointments, and all the resources on demand. Here is our blog. Thank you so much for coming, everybody. We really appreciate your time. I know it's Friday. It's almost 3 o'clock. We worked hard. Monday is a new day. Again, it's remote learning, not online learning. So remember, we're all in this together. It's new, and we really appreciate your time. So thanks again.
Can you stop sharing, please, Teresa? I'm just going to throw up a quick view of our team, just so people know that there are several AT team members. I'm sure they already know that, but I'd like to just share my screen for a second.
Sorry, I'm trying to stop. There we go.
Okay, I'm going to click here. Here is our AT team. And if you're wondering which team member that you would connect with to ask questions about anything that you learned about over the last 3 days, then here's the schools and the teachers. And they're all eager to help out, especially with our struggling learners. So keep us in mind, please.
I think we've answered all questions, either privately or in the group here, but maybe we could just do one final if there's any lingering questions to the team while you have them available here. Did you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you clear.
I never know my mic.
Now you can.
I just want to mention, does everybody know that Smartboard Suite is available in your Google Waffle if you scroll right down? So if you are addicted to all those Smartboard files that you created before, you can still use them as long as you can access your H drive. No questions. Are you going to take our picture, Rod? Because we should all look happy.
Yeah.
Rod, I did like when you asked the participants to all turn their video on and say hello. I thought that was a great idea. If you want to do that before we leave. I guess I just did.
I think you could be in the other meeting.
Are you gonna say
There
thank
you go.
Lillian?
Hi, team.
Oh,
Hi.
Hi, everybody.
Glad you're there.
Thank you for all your hard work. It's been amazing.
Hi. Oh, I love your background. Is it The Simpsons?
Yes.
Amazing. I love it.
This is the worst couch gag ever. Hi, Alex.
Teen, what was your riddle today?
What was the joke of the day today?
I have it.
Oh, it was you should always be suspicious of a teacher with graphing paper.
Oh.
Why? Because they are probably plotting something.
Oh, dude, I got to take a ride through Mount Bridges.
522 Pamela Drive. Stop by anytime.
Awesome.
Oh, I thought you were saying 522 was when you post the joke of the day.
Maybe.
No, we got an open door policy here. Welcome anytime.
No, you don't.
All right. Have a great day, everybody. I have to end the meeting.
Thank you.